Hi, in this series we're going to do averages, weighted averages, what you call mixtures and allegations, and we'll also try and see that how it is all of it, averages, weighted averages and mixtures and solutions, or what is called allegations, is nothing but applications of ratio and percentages. And we'll use topic specific techniques also, but overall we'll try and connect it back to things we have already learned over and over again, okay, in the previous sessions. Stop. Okay, so the average, the formula, let's say, or the simple form is sum of samples and divided by number of samples. Okay, now what does it mean? So let's say in a classroom there are 5 children and there are weights are 40 kg, 50 kg, 60 kg, 55 kg and 45 kg. Okay, 6 children in the classroom and their individual weights are given to me. Okay, now the question is, what is the average weight of the classroom? Now average means sum of samples, so I'll add up all of these, which I can do pretty easily orally. 90 plus 60, 150, 205, 250, right? 250 is the sum divided by, and number of samples, there were total of 6 samples, right? There were 6 children, each of them was giving you 1 sample or 1 piece of data, so the overall 6, your average would be 250 by 6, whatever that comes out to. Okay, so what you have to realize is that more than the formula, average is also nothing but a numerator and denominator entity. There is something in the numerator and there is something in the denominator. So as long as I focus on these two things, I will get my answer right. Okay, for example, let's say in a classroom there are 9 children and their average weight is given as 80 kg. Okay, a new person comes in whose weight is 90 kg, right? This is the classroom, there are 9 people in the classroom and the average weight is 80 kg, right? So it would actually, the full form would be 80 kg per person, right? Yeah. And the new guy, one guy has come in and his weight is 90 kg, right? So if you want to find out the new average, that means once you add this guy into the group and you want to find the new average, so let's say average dash, it would be the new sum. So for the new sum, I have to find the old sum, right? Now in this situation, I was given the number of samples, there are 9 people and I was given the average. I use the same formula, average is equal to sum by number. I have the average and I have the number. If I move the number this side, average into the number gives me the sum. So 80 into 9, 720, which is the old sum. Plus this guy is getting added to the group, right? So 720 plus 90 gives me 810 kg. This is my sum taken care of. And my denominator had the number of sample. There were 9 people earlier. One more guy is getting added. So now there are overall 10 people involved. If I work this out, I'll get the answer as 81. Okay? Stop. We can look at the same question again and another interpretation of averages. Okay, so 9 people, the number of people was 9, the old average was 80, the new guy comes in at 90 kg. Okay, so what is the new average going to be? So remember in the beginning when we decided to find the average, we found the sum and divided by the number of people, right? So essentially whatever is the sum is getting divided between everybody, it's getting divided by the number of samples, or can we say it is getting divided equally between everybody. So imagine you and your friends go to a restaurant, you have 100 rupees, your friend has 150 rupees, another friend has 200 rupees. Instead of choosing your dishes individually, you'd say, okay, no, let's decide how much money each person has. If we decide to divide our money amongst ourselves equally, okay? So you'll add the money and divide it by 3, and that sum will you will get as money per person, right? So the interpretation that we are involved in, that the average also means dividing it equally between everybody, right? So now, for example, this would mean that in the classroom of 9 people, the total weight was divided between everybody and everybody got 80 kgs. Is that okay? So now, we do a little bit of jugglery in our head and we say, can we think of this new guy as 80 plus 10, carrying 80 kgs and an extra 10 kgs, okay? And now for a minute, let's forget that 10 kg, okay? So let's say if this guy comes in at 80 kg, I know when this, the total weight of the group was divided between everybody, everybody got 80. This guy is coming in, he's also got 80. That means now all 10 people have the weight as 80, everybody has got 80 kg. But the truth is that there was this 10 kg extra. Yeah. Now this 10 kg extra is also coming into the group, and average means dividing it equally. So this 10 kg should also be divided equally between everybody. And now how many people are there? There are 10 people there, okay? So this extra, which is 10, is being divided by the number of people, which is n plus 1. We had n as earlier. So 10 by 10 gets you 1. Everybody already had 80 kg. Now because of this 10 extra kg, everybody is getting 1 more kg. So the new average is going to be 81. So this is also an interpretation which we can use to solve questions orally. But there is not too much difference between what we were doing in the formula and what we are doing here. It could totally be a matter of preference which method do you want to use. Plus this method might be new, so it will take some practice to get used to. We'll do a few examples and next time onwards, and just like this question, for everything we'll use the formula as well as this divide equally approach. Stop. Let's take that dividing equally approach and try and find average of this series, let's say. Okay, so now what I want to do is, instead of course we can add this up, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things, so add it up and divide it by 6 and you will get your average. But I just want to practice my divide equally approach, okay? So let's say I say the average is 60, I will say the average is 60 and I start thinking now. This guy also comes in, but this guy has 10 kgs extra, so for both of them can I say the average is 60 and they're carrying a overall 10 kg extra, which I'll divide later. If I do it right now, both of them, there are only 2 people will get 5 kg, the average will become 65, which you can check by the other method also, okay? So now there is 10 kg extra. This guy comes in, he should have, if he had come in at 60, the average would have remained 60 because everybody has 60, this guy also has 60, no difference. But he's actually carrying a deficit of minus 5, right? So there was a plus 10, now we can say for these 3 people the average is 60, there is a plus 10 and a minus 5, overall plus 5 is being carried to be divided between 3 people, we won't do that right now. Let's bring this guy in and say no, the average is 60 only. This guy should have got 60 so that the average remains the same, but this guy is carrying a deficit of minus 20. So let's bring that in. There was plus 5 and minus 20, you get minus 15. So these 4 people, I still have to divide this minus 15, I'll do that in a bit, okay? Bring in this guy and he's carrying a deficit of minus 30. Bring this in, you get a deficit of minus 45, okay? Let's do it for 5 people only, forget that. So now we are thinking the average is 60, but in doing so we got the deficit of minus 45. This deficit should also be divided equally between everybody. So minus 45 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a deficit of minus 9 per person. So you were saying I was saying the average was 60. Now you subtract everybody had 60. Now you subtract minus 9 from it, so everybody would have 51. You can find it by any other number and you'll get the same answer, okay? Any other method. So let's try this quickly again, and this time because we know where the average lies, let's start with 55 as the average. We see it's in the middle, right? There's 2 numbers bigger than 55, 2 numbers shorter. Let's start with 55 as the average and try and bring in 60. If I bring in 60, this 60 is carrying 5 extra, I can say the average is still 55 and there is a extra of plus 5. Let's bring in this 55, I can still say the average is 55, but this guy is carrying 15 extra, so overall 20 extra is being carried, okay? Let's bring in this guy, he's carrying a deficit of minus 15, so overall extra plus 5 is being carried, right? This guy is carrying a deficit of 25, right? And comes in, and overall there is a deficit of minus 20. This deficit should be divided equally between everybody. There are 5 people. You get minus 4. You were saying the average is 55, but that means everybody had 55, but now you know everybody also has to get a deficit of minus 4, which means the new average is 51. I hope that made some amount of sense. We'll look at more practice also. Yeah. Okay, so let's say there are in a classroom, there are 8 people and their average weight is 56, and a new guy weighing 32 kgs joins the group. Okay, so there was a classroom with 8 people, their old average was 56, a new guy weighing 32 kgs joins the group. What will be the new average, right? We'll use the formula first. We know average is sum divided by number. We already have this. Using the formula, we have number and 56, right? We have the average. Multiply the average into this and you get the sum, right? But this is the old sum. This is one story. But after this addition, a new data would come in, right? So when you want to find the new average, it would be old sum plus 32 divided by old number plus the new number, which is 1 here. Okay, so now old sum we know is 8 into 56, and this number was 8, so this would become 9. So my answer would be 8 into 56 plus 32 divided by 9. Is that okay? So we have used the formula and we've got the answer. Now what we'll try and do is we'll use that alternate approach of dividing equally and thinking on our feet. So let's, instead of bringing in this guy at 32, if I bring in him at 56, okay, 56 kg. So remember, when we are saying average is 56, we are saying it is average is 56 kg per person, right? Because you would have divided the overall weight by the number of people. So 56 kg per person. That means everybody has been given 56 kgs, everybody has 56 kgs. If this guy comes in at 56 kgs only, he also has 56 kgs. Now all 9 people have the average, theoretical average, let's mark it by a sign here, is going to be 56. But the truth is, this guy is carrying a deficit of minus 24. Yes, no? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Minus 20, minus 24, right? That is because that's not the truth. So this minus 24 should be divided equally between 9 people. Okay, so and this minus 24 by 9. Now this is everybody's share from the deficit, right? The deficit is being divided equally. So minus 24 by 9 should be subtracted from this, and that would be my average. If I convert this number to 7, your life would become very, very easy. So if this was 7, this would be 8. So 24 by 8, you would get 3. 56 minus 3, the new average would be 53. So, yeah. So I hope you get the idea. The idea here is, one, that average is dividing it equally, and second, when you're bringing in, we'll take out also. When you're bringing in someone, bring them in at the average or take them out at the average, and then think what is the reality and how it would impact the average change. Okay, stop. One more example. Let's say in a group of 10 people, the average weight is 70 kgs. Okay, and one person leaves the group and the average weight becomes 72. Okay, one person has left away and gone, one person has gone. What is his weight? That's the question. Okay, so now I know the average and the new average, right? I know the new average would have been the new sum divided by the new number, right? The old number was 10, so the new number would be 9. That much I know. The old sum was 70 into 10, right? I know average is sum by number. I know average and number, so I'll get the sum. 70 into 10 is 700, okay? And the new sum would be 700 minus this, whatever this is, I do not know, so I'll put it as x. Yeah, I solve this equation and I get the value of x, and that is my answer. Okay, But if we want to take the other approach, or let's say moreover, we want to take the other approach of dividing equally, or understanding that average is nothing but things getting divided. Now let's say if this guy, we're doing the same thing, making him leave at the average itself. So this average meant everybody had 70 kgs in this group. This guy has also left with 70. That would result in a situation where there are 9 people and the new average should have been 70 only, because earlier also everybody had 70, a guy with 70 left, everybody would still have 70, right? But that is not the truth, and we know the new average is not 70, it is 72. So what has happened? The remaining 9 people should have had 70 if this guy had left at 70, but they've got 2 kgs extra. Everybody's got 2 kgs extra. Overall, they've got 18 kgs. The group of 9 people has got 18 kgs from somewhere, right? And where have they got it from? That means this guy must have left, instead of 70, he must have left 18 behind. So from 70, if you subtract 18 which he has left back with the group, it would be 62 or 52. Is that okay? So the average has gone up. What does that mean? The group got something extra. Everybody got 2 kgs. Overall they got 18 kgs. Where did they get it from? This guy must have left it. And obviously the story started off from trying to make the guy leave with 70 kgs or at the average itself. So get the idea of the method, or we have used the formula in any case. Okay, stop. Okay. So another situation, there is a group of 11 people, their average is not known. A guy weighing 96 kgs joins the group and the average goes up by 3. That much is known. Okay. Right. So this is the question here. Now the average has gone up by 3. That means the new average is average plus 3. So we know that much, right? So now I can start filling the formulas here. Average is sum by number. Sum I do not know, right? So sum, there would have been sum divided by 11 plus 3, right? And the new average also would have been that sum plus 96 divided by 12. Is that okay? This is the story, right? This earlier there would have been sum 96 kg is getting added, that is giving you the new sum. This sum plus 96 is the new sum. That sum is getting divided between 12 people for the average, new average, right? And I've been told that the average has increased by 3. So if I solve this equation, you can see there's only one variable, which is the sum. If I solve this equation, I'll get the value of sum. And once I get the value of sum, which is the old sum, I'll get the value of average, and then I can get the value of new average also, okay? Let's see whether we can apply our divide equally method here or not. It will be tricky because the situation is slightly different, okay? So the average has gone up by 3, and there were 11 people earlier. So let's say the average was A only, and this guy also entered in at A. If this guy also came in at the average, let's say the average had been 96 only, there would not have been any change. 12 people, there were 11 people earlier, this guy comes in, so the new number becomes 12. 12 people would have had the average A, but that is not the case. The average for the group has gone up by plus 3, right? That means everybody has got 3. There are 12 people, that everybody has got 3, that means overall 36 kg extra was got into the group. If he had come in at A, nothing would have changed. So he must be carrying average plus 36. So average plus 36 is equal to 96. That means the average is 60 and the new average is 63. If you had worked out the earlier equation, you would have got the same numbers here. Okay, so slightly different, but the same idea being looked at from different angles. Earlier we had a guy coming in, we had the average, we had to find the new average. Here we are being given the change in the average, but the same idea is being used in different ways. Okay, stop.